There are different size and possession limits for crabs in Queensland. With more than 700,000 recreational fishers in the state, it's important that people know the rules and regulations and catch crabs responsibly. Mud crabs are measured from point to point across the widest part of the shell and must be a minimum size of 15 centimetres. Blue swimmer crabs are measured from the notch immediately forward of the base of the largest lateral spine. And this notch-to-notch measurement must be a minimum of 11.5 centimetres. The easiest and most accurate way to measure a crab is with a crab gauge, which can be found at bait and tackle shops. You should check these for accuracy before you go fishing. For example, with an accurate measuring tape or ruler. Recreational fishers should also remember that female mud and blue swimmer crabs are protected in Queensland.
Here's how to tell the difference between a male and a female mud crab. A male mud crab has a V-shaped flap on the bottom of its shell, while a female mud crab has a more rounded flap on the bottom of its shell.
There's nothing worse than someone taking your pots by mistake, or worse, on purpose. Ensure your pots and dillies are marked correctly. For crab pots with floats, the surname of the owner should be clearly marked on the float, and the surname and address of the owner should be clearly marked on the pot. For tie-off pots, fishers are required to clearly mark their surname and address on the pot, and their surname on a tag attached to the apparatus, which should be visible above the waterline. White 15 centimetre foam floats are recommended for use, on which details can be permanently marked with a soldering iron. Now folks, if you don't have an aluminium tag, you can use an old aluminium can, cut that up, or alternatively, use an old ice cream container or milk bottle. It's most important at the end of the day that your crab pots are tagged.
When fishing for blue swimmer crabs, mud crabs and spenner crabs in tidal waters, no more than 4 crab pots or dillies, or a combination of both, may be used per person. Species such as female mud and blue swimmer crabs are particularly vulnerable to exploitation and require more strict regulation or protection. Research determines the extent of protection required. For more information on crab rules and crabbing responsibly in Queensland, visit the Fisheries Queensland website or call the Customer Service Centre